What's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. Shout out Full Blast Radio. Shout out DJ Tiger. Shout out my man Stu Dog. Salute to my man Al Mega from Comic Crusaders. COOKZ 24, SPADENOMICS, Jacob from Dad and Daughter Comics. Salute everybody. And what's good, man? I wanted to break something down for y'all, and I felt like I wanted to give y'all something back, for all that y'all done for me. And I think that the best way I can do that is with some advice on some investments, some things that you can buy now, comics that you could afford with the change in your couch, like comics right now that you could get for cover price or at least under $100, and that will, in my opinion, in my belief, will skyrocket in value shortly. What you do is you try to predict what characters from the comics are going to be in the MCU, are going to be in the TV shows and in the movies. You kind of do that by looking at the trends, looking at what's popular, looking at what's hot, look at what they've been doing so far. You can kind of see that what they're doing a lot of is people of color, women, basically white males have been, running the show. White males have been at the forefront, your Supermans and Spider-Mans, and it's all white males. Hey man, there's some other people out here that are dope too. There's some other characters out here that are doper than some of them characters that are black, that are Latino, that are Latina, that are Asian, that are women. So they're kind of giving the spotlight to those characters right now. And if you can kind of see what teams that are being brought up, what comic runs, what storylines are being talked about, you can kind of sort of judge what characters may come to the forefront. Like for instance, when you had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and you started seeing John Walker, U.S. Agent is around the corner. When you start to see Isaiah Bradley, the first black Captain America, and you start to see his grandson, who's a member of a team called the New Avengers. And then we start to see that Hawkeye's daughter, Kate Bishop, is being talked about. She's also part of the New Avengers. You start to notice that certain characters from a group called the Thunderbolts are being brought into the forefront. They might be whispered about or in the background. We know that the mutants are about to be in the MCU, X-Men, X-Force, stuff like that. So you try to think, well, what characters from those teams are women? What characters from those teams are black? What characters from those teams are Latino? What characters from those teams are Asian? And you can kind of bet that those characters are going to end up in the MCU. Like you had Monica Rambeau from the Vision and Scarlet Witch show. African-American woman, Captain Marvel, dope character in the comics, but nobody really was checking for her. Nobody thought about her. She wasn't a very popular character. They put the character in the TV shows and in the movies, boom, all of a sudden her first appearance, you can't afford it. A lot of characters like that, once they come out, once we hear about them, once Kevin Feige does an announcement that XZY is going to be in the movie, you can forget about it because the comic collectors know. They're going, boom, okay, that's coming out. They double the price. Then you have a time period where you can still afford the comic, but once it hits the big screen, that's when you really got the value. And at that point, yeah, you could buy it, but for me, I like to flip. I like to buy low, sell high, or at least buy low and then have the value be higher than I paid, because then I feel like I did something. I feel like I accomplished something. I bought something that is worth something that will appreciate. So with no further ado, man, let me give you a quick list of comics that right now you can buy for under $100, some even cover price, and that I predict will be in the MCU, will be on TV shows, will be in the limelight, and their first appearances and first issues and things like that are going to skyrocket in value. And here's one that I kind of thought we might have seen already, but we still got plenty of time. She could still definitely join the MCU. We've got the Multiverse of Madness coming out, and there's all kinds of stuff where she may pop up. A lot of people thought that Mephisto was gonna be in the Scarlet Witch and Vision show, and he didn't show up. Nightmare, he didn't show up. But again, these characters are bigger in the Multiverse of Madness with Doctor Strange and things like that. So we still are probably gonna see them. And since, like I said, you're looking for women, people of color, characters like that would still be relevant in the Avengers and in the Eternals, it would make sense in the teams that are out right now in the movies and that we think are going to be in the movies in the future. So her name is Malevolence, and she is Mephisto's daughter. Now this is Guardians of the Galaxy number 7. Yeah, we'll probably get Mephisto, but again, we're looking for females. We're looking for female characters that would make sense in the MCU. Now, I think Malevolence is a big possibility, and you can probably get this comic for under 50 bucks anywhere you look. You know, this is just another one you could pick up for next to nothing right now. Now, this one right here is already, this is an example of, they've already talked about it, it's already been announced, but we haven't yet seen the movie. The movie hasn't dropped. So the value is already up over 100 bucks, but it's gonna go way up past that. So get it now, because I was kicking myself for not getting it when it was 10 bucks. Okay, and I bought it now when it's, you know, 100 bucks, but I'll be even madder when it's 300 bucks and I didn't buy it when it was 100. And this is King Shark, Superboy number 9. This big shark dude right here. He's in a movie called The Suicide Squad. We already saw that Suicide Squad atrocity of a movie with Jared Leto's Joker, and just Will Smith was in it. Killshot never wore the mask. Real big letdown. So they had to redo it. All right. So one of those characters is King Shark. He's gonna be a big CGI character. He'll be mad fun. He'll be cool. It'll be crazy, and he's gonna be super popular. So the first appearance of King Shark, Superboy number 9. You can pick it up now. You can afford it. Get it now while you can. Another member of the Suicide Squad, Bloodsport, and this is Superman number 4. And this guy's gonna be played by Idris Elba. So he's kind of taking the role, the place of Will Smith's Killshot, because Will Smith is not going to be in the movie. And we're going to have Idris Elba playing this cat here, Bloodsport. And again, you can pick this up, man, for cheap. And it's going to be through the roof when that movie drops. Mark my word. All right, now here's one that hasn't been announced. We haven't heard nothing about it, but you can bet it's going to show up somewhere in the future. Her name is Araña. She is the first Latina Spider-Man. She's a dope character. She's got a really cool comic run. It's a really cool story. But even if you're not a comic reader, you just want to invest some money, you want to flip something, man, I'm telling you, buy this Amazing Fantasy number 1, volume 2, first appearance of Araña. You could probably get that for under 20 bucks if you look. All right, now here's another character that we can bet is going to be in something in the MCU, a TV show, a movie, something. Her name's Ironheart. She's the kind of new Iron Man, the new black female Iron Man. Her name is Riri Williams, and this right here is her first appearance, Invincible Iron Man number 9, and you can get this for, again, under 100 bucks, maybe under 50 bucks if you looked really hard. You want to try and get the first or the second printing of the comic. There's a lot of versions. You got to look out for that. So look for the one with her face on it, or the one that just has, you know, a blank sign kind of saying her name, I think is the first printing. But again, you can get these for the low, man. Get them while you can. Now here's another guy that is definitely been announced, Shang-Chi. We know we're gonna get the movie. We know it's gonna be dope. Now this is not the first appearance of Shang-Chi. I don't own that comic. If you can find it, go for it. It's gonna cost you a little something, but right now you could, for cover price, you could go out and pick up Shang-Chi number 1 or The Legend of Shang-Chi number 1, 2 running series that he's got ongoing right now. You can pick these up for cover price. It's just a little investment, you know. Spend a few bucks, make a lot more. Now we know we're gonna have the X-Men. We know that the mutants are coming to the MCU. That's no guess, that's a fact. What characters are gonna be in it? What X-Men, what mutants are they gonna choose to be in the movie? Well, you can bet they'll be picking some females, they'll be picking some black and Latino characters, some Asian characters, some basically people of color, and that's where you want to put your money right now. For me, an obvious pick would be Bishop, black mutant, dope character, and we've got a major actor, rapper that is lobbying for the part, Method Man. Method Man really wants to play Bishop in the MCU, so if the MCU has a Bishop character, we hope Method Man gets it, but we're not sure. But anyway, we're pretty sure Bishop's gonna be in there. So grab the first appearance of Bishop. You could get it again for a few bucks, and it's gonna blow up. Now I'm talking first appearance because a lot of people don't understand the difference between the first issue and the first appearance of a character. A lot of times the first appearance of a character is not in the first issue of their comic. You got Bishop's own comic right here, and you can pick this up. It's a nice little run. Bishop's own joint. You can pick it up for the low. and you got Bishop #1 right there. But his first appearance, the first time he appeared in a comic book, was in the Uncanny X-Men #282. Since we're on the mutants, and we just got off Vision and Scarlet Witch. Now Scarlet Witch did something in the comics where she said no more mutants, and she's a reality warper, so all she had to do was say no more mutants, and it just erased the mutant gene from millions of mutants. It left only 198 mutants on the earth. So they made this cool little series, X-Men 198, and this is about the 198 mutants that were left on the planet after Scarlet Witch said no more mutants. Now the mutants are coming to the MCU, but the Scarlet Witch has already come to the MCU. So there's a good chance that it's going to have something to do with that story, House of M, where Scarlet Witch destroyed all the mutants, and eventually, of course, they come back, but for a time it's just this 198 of them. And it's a good bet that it's a number that they could work with, where it wouldn't just be too crazy. So possibility that we'll get some of that, but again, buy these for the low now in the hopes that they'll be high. My man Moon Knight has got his own series coming to the MCU, and that's going to be super dope. Now this is not the first appearance of Moon Knight. This is not a Moon Knight #1, but it is my favorite Moon Knight cover. This is Moon Knight #15. I love it because it's an all black cover with Moon Knight there with the big cape in the crescent shape, the moon's in the background. Very simple. I love simple covers. I like covers where there's one main focus and some solid colors, maybe 2-3 colors tops. I don't like a lot of busy stuff. So and that's my opinion. That's just what I like. But again, look for your Moon Knight comics, your first appearances, your #1s, or your favorite covers. Because once that movie drops, trust me. Now that movie that we just saw called Venom. Remember this? Tom Hardy. Dope movie. Part 2 is coming out, and the main character, the main villain in that is going to be Carnage. A lot of people remember Carnage from Spider-Man. You had Maximum Carnage, where this was a big story, maybe 14 comics long, called Maximum Carnage, where Spidey and Carnage go at it. And this is Maximum Carnage #1. It's not the first appearance of Carnage, but it's a good place to start, something you could afford right now. Again, some of these characters are already established. They're already quite popular, your Moon Knights and whatnot, and we know that the movie's coming. So their first appearances may be a bit out of reach, but here are some comics you could afford right now for the cheap that will, again, go up in value. He's got a brand new series called Carnage Black, White, and Blood. There's a couple of variants of the first issue. It's brand new. I think they're only up to issue 2. Right now, this is a cool Virgin variant where you got Venom on the front with the image of Carnage in his eyes. And this is dope because in the movie it'll be Venom versus Carnage. So a cover like this could really be valuable. And again, you can get these for the low. Get them while they're low. And again, we were talking about teams, teams that we start to see the characters coming around. Like you had the grandson of Isaiah Bradley, who becomes the Patriot and in the Young Avengers, and he didn't say his name, they didn't allude to the character or anything, but you saw him answer the door, and he talks a little bit he's got a little speaking part. Why even put that character in the movie? There was no reason to put him in there except to foreshadow him coming in. Another team that we're starting to see characters pop up for is the Thunderbolts, and you got General Thaddeus Ross, who becomes the Red Hulk. His name is Thunderbolt Ross. So he's got a team called the Thunderbolts, of which, of course, he is the leader, and this is the Red Hulk, the first appearance of the Red Hulk. You could probably pick this up for about $30 right now. And again, man, once Thunderbolts come out, you're going to see these comics soar. So if you can find the first appearance of the Thunderbolts or Thunderbolts #1, whatnot, then you're in good shape. Shout out to my man DJ Tiger for putting me on to the new Snake Eyes movie that's coming. Yo, Snake Eyes is my dude. You probably see I got 12 comics probably on the wall right there. Virgin variant covers of Snake Eyes. He's got a new series out called Dead Game by Rob Liefeld. That's bananas. But this was a gem that I found. You can probably get it for maybe $180. Definitely not under 100. Slabbed like this, with the case. It's encapsulated and graded. So that means a professional at the CGC graded it a 9.8 out of 10. You really don't get a 9.9 or a 10. That just doesn't happen. 9.8 is pretty much accepted as the top quality. This is Snake Eyes The Origin #1. course, that's Cobra Commander on the front, but again, this is a variant cover. Variant covers don't have to really foreshadow what's inside the comic. You know, they say don't judge a book by its cover, don't judge a book by its variant cover. Dope comic. So I want y'all, man, to have some fun, man. Collect comics, go to your local comic shops, chop it up with the owners, man, kick the bobo, find out what's hot, what's not. You know, look for some cheap comics that you feel are gonna explode, and this is just a good example of some of those comics. So I hope y'all got some good info today, and you wrote that down, took some notes, man, and I want y'all to go buy them comics. Invest. Peace.